Hello once again, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Before we get into whatever week's episode this is,
not to cut
we want
you
to, of
off,
course, give it thanks.
Not to cut you off, but not too many people are tuning in. They're
Not. Well, there's a tent. It might be blocking them. The tent might be blocking them. Here's the deal. Thanks to our sponsors, Smokin' Jay's Barbecue. Smokin' _ JAYS BBQ. Amazing. They do great food. Your mic's not on. I don't know what's going on there.
I thought it was.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it is.
There it is, dude.
Pitch I was supposed to get from Smokin' Jay.
No, I don't know.
Shark Tank.
Thanks to the merger between IWTV and Smart Mark Video, of course. Watching AIW has never been easier. You can watch it on smartmarkvideo.com, buy DVDs, MP4s, all that great stuff. Or you can also subscribe to IWTV. Use the code ABSOLUTE, $9.99 a month. Watch not just AIW, but all sorts of other independent wrestling promotions. And thank you to Royal Docks Brewing for the Backyard Crusher, an amazing beer. This is a live episode. We are sitting live at Great Lakes Wrestle Fest, part of Great Lakes Geek Fest. We're joined by, the Duke's currently right here.
He just invited himself.
Golden
Place
Boot
cleared out.
House Division champ. Yeah, because they knew you were be on.
It's like leaving a concert. Look at the traffic.
Yeah, fucking out of here, man. And then AIW owner John Thorne is here. My name is Steve Guy, your moderator of sorts. Fonzie will be joining us. Fonzie, just...
Oh, good Lord.
Well, you can hear the whistle. Fonzie, just pull up to the other microphone.
Get on this mic over here, Fonzie, right here.
We're not even gonna dip into the shout-out segment. Who gives a shit? We're just...
Hey, Fonzie.
Having a great time.
Where'd you get that bow tie at? Where'd you wear that?
I wore this in the Flair Fujinami at the Tokyo Dome in 1991.
Hell yeah.
1990.
How many people were there?
65,000 people sell out.
So 31 years ago.
Similar to today then.
Yeah, 31 years ago, Fonzie wore this bow tie that he wore for the main event tonight. He wore it in the Tokyo Dome for 65,000 people. And unbelievably, he wore it tonight for...
Already? We're already going to questions from the crowd? Wow.
65 plus 100 people. Joe Sposto joining us right now. Joe Sposto.
And again, Mr. Alfonso, there's been a burning question of mine, and this is like the dumbest question in the world, but I have to ask.
Follow me. Listen to At Odds Wrestling, everyone.
Didn't you already have a podcast?
Yeah, shh, be quiet. 1994, you were still with WWF, yes?
Correct.
Okay. A bunch of TV tapings. You started doing a thing with as a manager with the Barrio Brothers.
The Barrio Brothers?
Fidel Sierra and Ricky Santana.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. How did that come about? Why did that never take off? Like, how did that all come about? Like, did you pitch that? Did they pitch that to you?
I pitched it, and Vince didn't buy it. You know, he didn't like it. It wasn't the right time, so they overlooked it. But they ended up going to Puerto Rico. We're having a big run, those two guys.
Right, and I was shocked. I was at a TV taping, like after King of the Ring.
Yeah.
And you were just on TV as a referee, and then you come out as a manager. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And
Vince.
Yeah, listen, it was crazy, but I wanted to know, like, why it never took off and who pitched it and everything else.
It wasn't the right time. I pitched it to the writers and Vince and everybody. They took a look at us, and it wasn't their style for that particular moment. You know?
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, if that happened and took off, then ECW stuff wouldn't have happened.
Exactly.
There you go.
Daddy.
It's all silver lining stuff. Thank you again all the time coming out to AIW shows. You're the best.
Hell yeah.
Goddamn.
Fonzie, let me ask you a question.
Well,
This
Please come back.
big pop for Joe.
They want Joe Sposto to come back.
Yeah, because they want more nerdy statistic questions.
Yeah, they do.
Fonzie, that was your cousin though, right? Fonzie.
Yes.
That was your cousin.
Exactly. Yeah. Dave, the Cuban assassin, Dave Sierra.
Fonzie, let me
bring him up and let him do something.
He's tried to get on a couple times.
Let me ask you a question here, Fonzie, because people think that, again, folks, this is going to be a very weird and random podcast episode of AIW's The Card is Going to Change.
Oh, Wes has got to get the
Wes has got to shake hands here. He says, "Fuck the Duke," is what he just said. I think out loud.
Better say that.
So, Fonzie, it seems odd to people that a referee or manager would make pitches in WWF or
in
WWE
1994, right?
at any point in time. How many do you, like, off the top of your head, how many pitches do you think that you made during the course of time that you were there? Did it like? And
Well,
did
I'd
any
been
of them
in the business
happen?
for a long time, and they kind of respected that, so they would listen. If I had something to say, they would listen, and I went right up to Vince. I didn't talk to anybody else. I went right up to Vince and said, Vince, what do you think? He said, let me see it, you know?
And that's why you did the dark matches?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Is there a pitch that you can remember in your head that like, all right, I threw this out there and then it worked out and like this is my pitch?
It's all in the timing, the right place at the right time,
Yeah.
saying the right word, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all in timing.
All right. What do you?
Well, I got a more modern question, Fonzie. What did you think about today? This tournament that you came up with several years ago.
Yeah.
You were the one that pitched this to me a while ago.
Speaking of pitches, yeah.
And what did you think of how it turned out today here?
I thought it was great. I thought everybody that was involved in the ring did a spectacular job for me, and I'm very flattered by the company letting me do something like this and having me honored in the Bill Alfonso tournament. Very cool, Daddy. And I thought it was a good turnout. The people liked it. They enjoyed it. And it was just a good day all around.
Yeah, I mean, not to go too far behind the curtain, so to speak, but you pitched this to me several years ago.
Yeah.
And you said, you were having such a great time at AIW that you said one day I'm not going to be around, but if I want somebody to honor me and remember me, you told me personally you want AIW to carry on your legacy and make sure you're never forgotten. And that's what this was all about today.
And thank you for that. I like this company because it reminds me of a young ECW. Now you guys are off your feet running shows, selling out at the Odeum, doing great shows and entertaining people around Ohio. And I really enjoyed up here. Everybody's on the same team. Everybody's so cool. Everybody busts their ass in AIW. So I'm proud and honored to be a part of it. I was supposed to come in for one show, and then you asked me.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Wait, Duke,
We got a verbal contract, Daddy. I want to renew that when I
Duke
got
wants
you
to
on
go.
air.
Duke wants to say something.
I have a quick question. Who, since you're talking about Thorne saying you pitched this to him, 3-4 years ago, who's more accessible and easier to pitch stuff to, Thorne or Vince?
Vince.
He's
That's
exactly
true.
right,
That's
by the
true.
way.
Yeah, that
He's
is true.
exactly right.
He's hard to get his ear. But when you do, you got it.
No, that
I'm up
is
for my
100%
verbal new
true.
contract, Daddy. Don't forget.
Let's talk about that verbal contract.
Verbal contract. That's
Verbal
right.
contract. 1 year verbal contract with AIW.
So Fonzie was supposed to. I probably told this story before, but
Yeah.
forgive me. I've been having a couple of beers.
Just a couple.
Yeah, about
Two at most.
14 probably.
I misspoke.
So Fonzie, we come up with this. It's Absolution
2019.
14.
3 years ago, last
Yeah,
week.
For Absolution
Yeah.
14. And, Justice had pitched this thing where, maybe Fonzie comes out with him as a special thing one time. And, it kind of got lost in the shuffle. And then it was about a week before Absolution. And I started asking around. And I somehow got Fonzie's number, or I found him on Facebook. I don't remember exactly. And I called him. And I give him this pitch. I say, I want you to come in, do this manager spot, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, what's the date? And I say the date, and he goes, that's this Friday, Daddy. And I said, yeah. And he goes, I don't know if this sounds legit. Like you thought it didn't sound legit. And you were very sketched out that somebody was calling you to book you on 5 days' notice. And you were like, you gave me the what I expect to be the normal Fonzie pitch of the big payday and the flight and the nice hotel and all that stuff. And you didn't. I could tell by talking to you that you didn't think it was a legitimate offer.
I knew it was legitimate when I got here, Daddy.
But when we talked the first time, you were very standoffish, and I said, I assure you, I'm good for it. You know what I mean? And you said you gave me all I'm flying out of Tampa and this and this and this and this, and I said, okay, you gave me all your terms and I agreed to it. And then that day, I sent you your flight information, and I think you kind of realized it was a little bit legitimate. But with 5 days' notice, I would expect a lot of people get some, especially you've dealt with a lot of fake offers throughout the years.
Yeah, what were your thoughts here, Fonzie, when you first got that pitch?
Unusual, but once I got the pitch and I got my flight information, I wasn't too hard on him. I wasn't a big superstar. I didn't demand certain things. I just say, you got to fly me first class. I'm a team player. And once I got here, I realized that.
You weren't on the team yet. That's what we're saying.
Right.
We're trying to go back a little bit.
But I'm talking in general. I've always been a team player. I've always been a company guy. So I want to work hard for the people I work for and with.
Well, I guess that's the question. At what point, Fonzie, when you were here in Cleveland, whether it was Absolution or other, I mean, it definitely was Absolution, because then we bring you in for Wrestle Rager
with
literally
Raven,
the same
remember?
month within like a few weeks' notice. What was the moment, or like what happened to make you decide and feel like, I'm a team player, this is the organization I want to be a part of?
It was John Thorne offering me a spot here. He said, Fonzie, we like you. We'd like to have you come in and work for us as much as we can bring you in. And we did a verbal contract right there, and I've been here for 3 years.
Yeah.
And loving every minute of it. I'm thankful to be here entertaining you guys.
But was it you walked in and was it the environment? Was it the locker room?
No, it was the
it the
environment. It
crowd?
reminded me, I don't want to compare you guys to ECW because you're your own style, but it was the environment. I walked in, everybody was a team player. I didn't recognize anybody. Like I walked into ECW, May in 1995, I walked in there, Sandman, Taz, Tommy Dreamer, all these guys. I didn't know who the fuck they were. I said, damn, what am I doing here?
Thorne, did you wear the duster for the first time he came in?
No.
Fully get it in
Josh
there?
Bishop did buy me a duster, Paul Lee style, but I never wore it.
He's got a Paul Lee style duster.
I love it. But anyway, after John Thorne offered me a spot here and we agreed to certain terms, I wanted to be a team player. I seen the potential here for me, and I was right. Here I am 3 years later talking to you guys.
Plus, I would assume as long as you're getting what you're supposed to get and everything is on the up and up, that helps too, I would think.
Absolutely.
And not to blow your spot up, Fonzie, but Fonzie enjoyed it so much that after that first day, he actually reduced his price and said, I want to be here more once we talked about it. We worked out this verbal contract. We won't reveal the terms, but he could have asked for the same amount of money every single booking that I offered him, and he said, well, you know what? I'm gonna reduce my price, and I'm gonna work with you guys because I believe in this company. And there's a lot of people that'll say that for another booking, but Fonzie genuinely means it. You know what I mean? He's not getting, by no means, he's not getting rich off of any of these bookings at all.
No kidding. Oh, sorry.
The Duke is rich otherwise.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Duke. This is Fonzie's question.
I just wanted to point that out to Fonzie because he does have a lot of bookings, he does get a lot of offers, and he does not have to do every single AIW date as a priority, yet he does, because I think he really does believe in not only, working with Matthew Justice, but Fonzie, I don't want to speak for you, but I think you really believe in the young talent that's here.
I see a lot of young superstars here. I can't believe Josh and West and all these young guys that are come a long way since I've been here, man. They're two different characters. I mean, they're great. I mean, the whole roster, the whole team is very cool. From the students to the ring guys, everybody's on the same team. I like that. I like the karma here. I believe in the company.
I just want to toss something out there real quick. Fonzie, do you listen to our podcast at all?
Of course I listen to it.
Okay. Well, we talk about something, Thorne and I, called the Fonzie effect. And since you have been here for the last 3 years, and, obviously pandemic and everything involved, but we have been able to book certain people, or when we've booked certain people, and unbeknownst to them, you being here has been like, we've heard questions, we've heard people tell us like, they're going to be terrible for you to book. And then they show up. Raven is my best example. People are like, I don't know about Raven. And we're at Wrestle Rager, literally 3 weeks after the first time we booked you. And you, me and Thor are sitting out doing a podcast. Raven walks in, he's like, let me get in on this podcast.
And you guys told the story about Sandman ODing and all this stuff.
That was a great story.
It was amazing. So, what does that mean to you when we sit here and talk about, this is the Fonzie effect? It helps us but it helps us, so that's got to make you feel good because you
Hell
love
yeah,
us.
makes
But
me
also,
feel good.
like,
It's good to be tagged like that, man.
But
It's
what's it mean to you?
unbelievable.
Like, there's got to be a point of pride that everybody holds you in such a high regard.
I'm a straight shooter, just like AIW, just like John Thorne, just like you, just like my man right here. It's very easy to be cool, and assholes don't last long in the business. If you're an asshole, you really don't last long. And I'm generally well liked in the business. I've been around a long time. This is my 42nd year on the road.
Hell yeah.
I'll be
You better
65 years old August 11th.
Well, that's funny. Hold on, because speaking of that,
You're
that's
older
what
than him,
happened
dude?
when we were at in Akron when we did 200, and we had DiBiase.
I was gonna say this
DiBiase
story, yeah.
was in, and as everybody knows, the gimmick is always whoever we bring in, whatever legend we bring in, usually ends up doing something with me at some point, and whatever it is, it is. Kicks your ass, dude. Well, whatever, and I always show my ass because that's my job. So
Thanks,
whatever.
Duke.
So we were like, well, is Ted gonna want to do anything? And Thorne doesn't usually drive that bus. He doesn't push. He doesn't push. And so it's like, well, I really wanted to do something with.
And
DiBiase.
he was adamant, I am not
Yeah.
doing anything on the
Yeah,
show.
and then I get there and I'm like, so what are we doing? And Thorne's like, I don't know. Fonzie's talking to him. Let's see what happens.
And a little behind the curtain is Ted. We worked out a deal, and he said, I absolutely will not do anything physical in the ring. And Fonzie, you got there and you said, oh, hey, Daddy, I know him from, Florida and all, Watts. You started naming all this stuff, and you're like, let me see how he's feeling a little bit, And you start loosening him up a little bit, and you say, hey, when's the last time you took a bump, Ted? And you start, kind of juicing him up a little bit to where he didn't know us from anything. He was just coming in for a payday. And by the time you got done with him, which is what the Duke is going to say here, by the time you got done with him, not only was he appearing on the show, he was doing a spot with Duke where he was going to take a bump and put him in the $1 Million Dream.
Yeah, and he goes, because it was like, well, what's going to happen? And so I go up to him and you're like, I forget who said, he's like, yeah, Ted's down to do something. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So I was going to do the whole promo with the money and everything else and blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, all right. He goes, well, and then we'll do this and I'll put you in the dream. And if I feel like taking a bump, I will. And I'm like, all right, dude, whatever you want to do, And so we get out there and he hooks me in the dream. He's like, he's got me and he's like, all right, you ready? I'm like, yeah,
Hell
let's
yeah,
go. And he just fucking throws me back and bumps. And I was just like, holy shit.
That's very cool that I can do stuff like that. I'm well liked by the boys. I've been around, all these different eras from Eddie Graham to Dusty to the $1 Million Man to Jake the Snake. I was there at the beginning of all their career. So good thing I'm not an asshole.
And that's what we say is the Fonzie effect, right? Is we can bring in a legend and they may. I get it. They don't know me from anybody. They do their Friday or Saturday booking every single week. They don't really care. But when they come and they see you, they get a little bit more loose. You know what I mean? You kind of, even though we don't ask you to, you go.
In that last match,
Doug?
yes, he was hesitant to take that finish. And I said, hey, it's the kid's finish. And bam, 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 could you mind? It's okay. We'll take care of you.
Fonzie,
And he
even
ended up
today.
doing it, being, yes.
And that's the Fonzie effect, and that's what we talk about. Is you start loosening them up, and you talk about the old days, and they remember you, and they start feeling a certain way.
I put him over, and he deserves to be put over. He throws a hell of a punch, and I said that. I said, you make you come back, throw that punch in, and we'll all take bumps and stuff, and he went for the finish, and he loved it.
Hell yeah!
And we took care of him.
I think Fonzie, as like a young wrestler, I would say Fonzie in the last 3 years is the biggest asset in the locker room because he's been around for fucking 40 years. So, and he watches every match on the show, so he's trying to help everybody out. That is the coolest part about
That's my
Fonzie
job.
being around, is that he doesn't have to watch every fucking match, but he still does, and he gives every young kid feedback, and he watches everyone. He advises, hey, I like this, maybe do this instead, okay. Like, you'll say, even for last week, we had that barbed wire match, and you're just talking, okay, well, you were helping us out when we're putting it together. You're like, okay, well, Terry Funk did this, and this fucked him up, but don't do this, because Sabu fucked his body up that way. Do shit different way. And it really is, like, those small little things are the biggest
It's just
like those little hits of knowledge that you have are like gems, and I don't even think you mean to give those gems off, but everything you do is just like such a gem. It's like, damn. Fuck, we are so lucky. We are honestly spoiled as the young wrestlers to have someone like you in the
Thanks,
locker room.
guys. Really.
And so it really does mean a lot.
Flattered to be up
Yeah,
here.
he helps all the young kids. He doesn't
And
say
especially
shit to
with
me.
all
He
the,
helps
like
all the
with
young
this roster, it's young, it's homegrown, it's you know what I mean. We've made virtually almost everybody on this roster from scratch, and you know Cleveland wasn't the hottest wrestling territory throughout the territory days. You know what I mean. So there's not a lot of big veterans around here to give this feedback, but for you to come in and you know give these young kids this feedback is invaluable. And you know this day is about you today. And that's what we wanted to make this, you know.
Thanks,
and also,
Daddy. Thank you.
Fonzie, sorry, real quick, because we are recording this and people will listen to it. They have no idea who's talking. But that was Joshua Bishop, who's been in a fucking rivalry for the last 3 years with Fonzie, was saying that. And then backing him up in the crowd is another person that Josh Bishop's been in a rivalry with, is Philly Collins, at one half of PME. So he also
Philly, come on
all
down
part
here.
of
You
that.
can put your 2 cents in here.
And also, a little fun. Hold on. I got a funny little gem last week. We went out to the Royal Docks. Or not, where the fuck did we go last week? Upper Deck, sorry. Yeah, we went out to the Upper Deck, and that's like kind of my hometown bar or whatever the fuck. And I'm in this one group chat of like these dudes I've been in the same chat since I was like 16 when I played lacrosse together. And this one dude texted in our group chat, he like added me. He said, Josh, are you at the Upper Deck right now? Because I swear to God, Bill fucking Alfonso is here. And I don't know why the fuck he would be here unless you're here. But I swear to God, I saw Bill Alfonso walking around. Am I allowed to talk to him? And I said, go ahead and talk to him. And then he
say,
texted
"Yeah,
me after.
Daddy?"
Yeah, and I said after, because my friend's a huge ECW fan. He's kind of like a lapsed fan of wrestling at this point, but he'll come to like some AEW shows and shit. And he said that even just talking to you at the Upper Deck was like so unreal cool because you could not have been cooler to him. So I just wanted to say thank you for that because my friend was fucking losing his mind.
Well, you were over in that. You were over that night, brother.
Yeah, I was pretty over at the
It's
deck.
over every night at the bar.
Yeah, well.
Fucking guy.
Hey, what? What's the matter? What's the matter, dude? Philly he comes on the.
No, I'm saying, look at that fucking guy.
That fucking guy. I
Yeah.
mean, look at him.
Look at the
He
physical
is the
specimen.
fucking champ. I mean,
Kurt, Daddy.
What can you say more about Joshua Bishop that hasn't been said about maybe a barn or something? Oh yeah.
Hey,
Make
hey, you're
sure.
lucky, buddy. It wasn't you in the ring.
It's like
Marino about.
Hey, what happened to
had you,
Buck,
brother? Marino had you, brother.
It's like before.
We're having a good
before and
time
after.
here, Daddy.
Billy and Bishop standing
We
next
can
to
shoot an angle, though.
But ever since Fonzie's been in the locker room, it has been a total difference. Everybody has noticed, and you helped so many people, from me to new guys to referees to anybody. Anybody that got any knowledge from you is now better that they got that knowledge from you. And I cannot say thank you more, but thank you, brother. I
Thanks,
appreciate
Daddy.
it.
It's very cool of you to say that. I listen to all you guys, and it means a lot coming from you guys that have been around for a while. Really makes me feel good, man. Thanks.
And he mentioned something. He says you give everybody from the workers to the refs feedback.
Yeah.
And I gotta ask, when is the last time you refereed, and what did it feel to be in there tonight refereeing the main event?
I didn't know what to do, actually.
they're fighting all over the place.
When the bell rung, I was getting ready to hop out and do my thing on the floor, on the apron as a manager, and then I got to say, oh, damn, I'm reffing this match, man. It felt really cool to have this shirt on and to be a part of this thing, and AIW let me referee the main event. It was really cool. I felt comfortable. I felt right at home. It's a natural thing for me. I did it 20-something years,
For those of you at home, he's actually wearing a personalized, specialized Bill Alfonso tournament ref shirt.
This is what I was going to say. Let me say this about Fonzie, because he is wearing the Bill Alfonso Fonzie tournament polo right now. He's got the bow tie on, and he got this shirt made for this event. But this is not a one-off thing. When we brought Fonzie in for Absolution, and it was maybe a one-off, and then he has another thing at Wrestle Rager, this man was so invested in us as a company and believed in us and what we're doing as a company that he went out, and maybe this means bullshit to anybody else, but to us it's a big deal. He goes out and gets a polo made a brand new thing similar to what he wears at ECW. Fonzie, manager of champions, AIW, and it says Matt Justice on it. He gets his own personalized polo made just to wear at AIW.
Well, I asked John Thorne, is there was anything particular he wanted me to wear or any style? He said, no, be Fonzie. So that's me.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's
That's true. You
But
told me
like,
to be Fonzie.
not that,
it
you
wouldn't
know,
be Fonzie if I didn't wear
We
my...
could talk about all Fonzie gave back, but I think everybody wants some old Fonzie stories, right? We are live with the millions of people
Oh,
that stuck
boy.
around after this show. So Fonzie,
wait, he can't, Thorne. Just before we get into this, I know you've been drinking. I've been drinking. But
What are you guys gonna fight or make out or what? What's going on here?
there are certain
I'm coming in through your
Fonzies.
window, brother.
There are certain. Yeah. Just put Joey Janela on Matt Justice's shoulders. We'll be
Bobby
fine.
Beverly it was.
Allegedly. There are certain Fonzie stories that you and I know
Yeah.
that maybe we should have put out on the
Well,
podcast.
no, I'm not going to say any of
All right,
those.
all right, so
I'm not
Just
saying
checking,
any of
just
those.
checking. Okay.
And we may have sold these stories in the past, but
Yeah.
That's why a
my
paywall
favorite
exists,
Fonzie
TBI.
stories involve Florida and alligators because
I got a good
Fonzie's
Roddy
always fucking
Piper
around with
story with
alligators.
alligators.
Good Roddy Piper alligator story.
Literally, Fonzie will text me and there'll be an alligator chasing him, and he's like, look at this, Daddy. You know what I mean? And I know you told a great. I don't know if you told it on the podcast, but even if you did, let's tell it again.
Yeah.
Your story of running the roads with Roddy Piper and what he wanted to do with an alligator.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Piper was red hot. He was on TBS. 605 was red hot. And we would bring in guys for the week, like we would bring in the world champion for the week. We would bring in Fabulous Moolah for the week, Andre the Giant for the week, Piper for the week. And usually I would be in charge of taking these guys around for the week. Monday night was West Palm, Tampa was Tuesday, Miami was Wednesday, Thursday was Jacksonville, Friday and Saturday was spot shows, and Sunday was Orlando. And that repeated itself week after week, month after month, year after year. We were working 350 days a year. It was freaking crazy. So Piper comes down, and we're going across Alligator Alley, and he's a Canadian. He's never seen a freaking alligator before, so his first time in Florida, he's riding with me. I got Wally, Frank Dusick in the car with me, Angelo Mosca's son. No, it was Frank Dusick, Kevin Sullivan, Fonzie, and Roddy Piper. So we're going down Alligator Alley, and there's a canal running parallel with the car, and Piper's seeing all these alligators. Can't believe it. He's going freaking nuts. He said, man, I can't believe all these gators. He said, if I had a gun, I would shoot one. And Wally, Frank Dusick says, I got a gun. So we pulled over, and he pulls out this old 38 snub-nosed gun, and the alligator was across the canal about 80 or 90 feet. And so Piper gets out, he's all excited, and he takes aim and says, there's no way he's going to hit this alligator. So a lucky shot of the lucky shot. Piper takes aim, shoots, bam, he hits the alligator.
Right between
Damn.
the eyes, right?
He hits him in the neck. So the alligator starts selling, and the alligator crawls in the water, and he floats over.
Because the alligator knows.
He's
The
on
alligator
his
understands
back.
selling.
His stomach is showing. So Piper says, man, I'm going to swim across the canal and get him. He's dead. And Kevin Sullivan says, well, I'll go down here and make a splash and draw all the other alligators towards me while you swim across. So Piper's taking his clothes off. He's down to his underwear. He gets in the water, and he starts swimming across the canal. He gets halfway across the canal. The alligator was working. He flipped back over and started heading towards Piper, chasing Piper, and it looked like a cartoon. Piper going so fast in the water. It was a great story, and Piper was a good friend of mine. I'm sorry we lost him, but
There's more to that. Didn't the Highway Patrol show up?
Yeah.
well, seconds, maybe minutes after we shot the alligator, which is totally illegal. A state trooper pulled up. We got weed on us. We got this. We got that. We got guns. We got all kind of stuff. And he said, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And, well, we just stopped to show the alligator. So we gave him pictures and T-shirts and stuff, and he let us go. But he didn't know we shot an alligator, so we got by. They would have took Piper and gave him a big fine or some jail time. It's very illegal to shoot a gator.
And there's another story, which I know infamously of you and an alligator is, I believe you ran one over and you put it in your trunk.
Come on.
With Barry Windham.
I had Muda.
Muda. It was with Muda.
Fabulous
Sorry.
Muda.
The great Muda.
The great Muda with the green mist in the car.
Did he give the green mist to the alligator?
No. Then I had Angelo Mosca's son was trying to break into business, and another had somebody else. They were all foreigners. So we're cruising, and we have a Cadillac. We rented Cadillacs from Avis, brand new, huge, big Cadillac. And I was driving, going through Alligator Alley, going about 80 or 90, 100 miles an hour. And there was an alligator in the middle of the road, and I hydroplaned right over the gator. And I slammed on brakes, and of course, the alligator is selling. I broke his jaw. We think he's dead. So nobody wanted to touch him. I wanted to put him in the trunk and take him home. You know, alligator hide and stuff. He's already dead. So the Japanese kid, everybody's going, ooh, putting the gator over them. It was huge. He was so big that he wouldn't fit in the trunk. I had to fold him up like a donut to get him in the trunk of a Cadillac. This was in the early 80s. So we're driving home and we're talking about the gator and everybody's excited. And all of a sudden the gator comes back to life. I just knocked him out. He starts pounding and splashing in the back seat. Man, those guys were,
I don't remember where I saw that, but someone else told that story.
There's like a article that gets shared a lot of like pro wrestling's craziest stories.
Somebody, I don't know if it was on a WWE thing or a Dark Side
in the
Ring.
mic.
I don't know what it was, but I know
In the mic, Duke.
I know I saw it.
I got some pretty cool stories because I've been around so long and seen a lot of cool stuff. You know, did you guys know I sucker punched Dusty?
No, let's hear that one.
All right, this is one more story that I'm gonna take a break. So we were, like I said earlier, West Palm on Mondays, Tampa Tuesdays, Miami we were Wednesdays. So I would usually ride with the referees and the underneath guys, and I would have to stay to the end. So we're in Miami Beach Convention Center, and Dusty says, "Who'd you ride with?" I said, "Scott McGee and Reggie Parks and Denny Brown." He says, "Well, let them go. There's a spot on the airplane, and I'm young in the business." They said, "Let them go, and you can fly home with us. I'll give you a ride home from the airport." So I was actually pretty cool. I said, "Damn, I'm riding with Dusty and Jack Briscoe and I think Jerry Briscoe. There was Jody Hamilton. So there was 4 of them in a spot for me in a little plane. So, and I wasn't a drinker back then. I'm a young kid. So they were ribbing me. They were pouring shots, and they were getting me drunk as hell, and I'm really not a big drinker. So they got me so drunk. We get off the plane, and Dusty says, "Hey, see that trash can, that plastic trash can over there? Mulligan kicked it like 30 feet. See if you can kick it, how far you can kick it, Fonzie." So I said, "Okay, it's a challenge." So I run up, and it's bolted to the ground. I didn't know that. So I go up with a big kick, and bam, I kicked it and took a big bump. You know, they were laughing at me, and finally they put me in the car, and Dusty's taking me home. But I'm so fucking drunk, I don't know where I live. So we got close to my house, and Dusty was driving around my neighborhood for a half hour. My wife looked out the window and seen the red pickup truck parked outside trying to find the house, and I was so drunk, but it was his fault. So he says, "Fonzie, if you don't tell me where your house is in 2 minutes, I'm kicking you out of the car. I'm going to drive up to the 7-Eleven and drop your ass off up there." So I didn't know where I lived. I was so drunk. It wasn't my fault. So Dusty says, "That's it." So we go up to the 7-Eleven, and he says, "Get out of my car." And for some reason, I don't know why, I was in a passenger seat in the truck, and I gave him a right hook right to the face. Bam! I didn't,
What did you do?
He sold it for a second, got my bag, threw it out the car, and told me to get out. And the police came and picked me up and took me home. And they let me go because of Dusty and the story and so on.
Didn't you fight another executive in WCW or something?
No, that was Joey Styles knocking out what's his
No,
name?
I know that one, but I thought you got into something with Crockett or somebody. I can't remember.
I can't remember the incident, but probably. I've had like 7 major concussions. In my age of the concussions, I'm starting to having trouble remembering things, short things. I can remember what happened 25 years ago, 30 years ago, but I can't remember what I fucking ate yesterday. So it's starting to cause a little bit of problems.
There's a viral video of you from like 2005 whooping the shit out of a fucking indie promoter in Florida.
Stiff me with a bad check.
I remember that.
Yeah, and you went nuts on that, dude.
Well, it was the principal. The guy begged me to be on the show, and who gives checks? You know what I mean? This guy he begged me for months to be on the show, and finally I agreed to it. And I get there, and I do the show, and he pays me in a check, which is okay if it was good. So I take it to the bank, and I put it in, and they charged me because it was a bad check. So I called the guy 25 times, 30 times. I haven't seen him for months, so I wasn't going to let it go, but you just let it go. It happens, I guess. So one of my boys called me up there at a pool hall bar, and they said, hey, that promoter guy's here. I said, I'll be right there. So I drive up, and he's surprised, and he was much bigger than me, but I had a lot of backup. The camera didn't show all my backup. But I told my backup, I said, if he starts beating my ass, just pull him off me, but don't beat him up. Let me do. So I demanded my money, and he had no answer. He didn't have any money, and he was sorry and all that, and I took it to the limit. I shouldn't have done what I did, but I slapped him around a little bit, and I was glad. He deserved it because of what he did.
Fuck yeah, Fonzie, fuck him up.
And you don't run across promoters like that. 99%, almost 100% of the promoters I work with are legitimate, cool.
That's
There's
why I
very
never
few
stiffed you.
assholes.
I look forward to the day when you slap the shit out of Thorne. That's what I'm looking forward to.
That's never happening. That's never happening. Me and Fonzie are tight.
Stiff him and find out.
Hey, I know we're winding it up a little bit, but who is gonna go check out the world's best burger around the corner?
Oh, yeah, Daddy.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
I'm gonna give it a shot. I mean, I don't get out to Ashtabula often.
Once a year.
Can we talk about this? We are in Ashtabula, Ohio. We don't know a lot about Jefferson or Ashtabula County. And if you listen to the podcast, the biggest thing is like the world's best burger. Has anybody tried the world's best burger yet here in the crowd?
Pretty cool, Daddy.
No.
Hey,
bold statement.
Wait,
Hey, Daddy, I'm going to
say.
wind this up. I appreciate you guys having
0%
me on the
chance.
podcast. Thank you so much. You guys
You
closed
sit
the
there.
show out without me.
Fonzie-
You guys done this a million times. Thank you so much, everybody.
Fonzie's dipping out. Fonzie, everybody.
Signing out,
Fonzie.
Daddy.
Fonzie, 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 Fonzie.
Now,
right,
back to the world's best burger. That's a bold statement. I mean, that is.
All right, who we
They're
burying?
hanging that on a sign in front of the world.
Right
Who we burying?
now, I'm sitting here between Joshua Bishop and the Duke,
I'm,
and they have a lot of
30
things they
deep.
can disagree upon. But the current
Me and the Duke
thing
are
is
boys.
the world's best burger. Apparently, Duke.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it, Josh? Have you had it? Taking a sip.
I'll be trying tonight. Holy
He's gonna be
fuck.
trying it tonight. Is what he's trying to say.
I'll be trying
There's
tonight.
apparently
trying it
some
tonight.
people in the audience that have had
So
it.
people in the
Is
audience
it,
have
in
had-
fact,
Who has had the world's best burger?
Is
Turns
it?
out nobody has had the
Is it?
world's
There's
best
multiple
burger.
people. Multiple
Turns
people.
out now nobody has had the world's best burger.
Ronald Two Legs, who's sitting on the podcast, has had
Ronnie
it.
Deuces said no.
Ronnie Deuces.
Have you had it,
what do
Ronnie
you say?
Deuces?
Is it the world's best
Yeah,
burger?
yeah.
Hop on in.
Are you allowed to
Hop on
get in?
in.
Yes, you can get in, Ronnie
officially
Deuces.
here. All right. I have not.
I like that he
I've
was
not
like-
eaten in the burger, but somebody I know said they had it. But
Yeah, it
apparently
sucks.
they had it.
Who do you know?
Wait, you've not
I'm
had
just
it?
gonna. I'm just gonna
Raise
say
your
that I don't
hand.
think he had it.
You
No,
raised
I
your
can't
hand.
review.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not
by
gonna
proxy.
lie.
He said, "Oh, I'm going there."
No,
Great,
he's not.
dude.
He's not allowed on this podcast because
Oh, yeah, he's definitely
the
Creative
Definitely
has
not
nothing for
yeah,
him.
creative has nothing for him. The main proponent of this podcast, not a fan. So
Look, we're talking about burgers. I want somebody to answer my question. Is it in fact the world's best burger?
It's pretty good. He's
pretty good.
He has
That to
said
me- that to
on
me
multiple
does not
occasions that it's
say the
pretty
world's
good.
best. pretty
Well,
good.
listen,
It's not the world's
it's all interpretable. Like, let's. What do you think, Duke?
You
Let's
ever-
go live.
I'm just saying. If
You ever
it's
been to
pretty
Johnny's
good-
Little Bar? Johnny's Little Bar
No,
in
I have
downtown
not.
Cleveland? Fantastic
Steve,
burger.
guys throwing
Fuck
out
Johnny's Little
plugs
Bar.
to
That's my
places
favorite-
that aren't paying us.
Best burger in Cleveland. That's my favorite one.
Shout out to Johnny's.
Hey,
Little Burgers.
I
Little
don't.
joint,
I'm sorry,
whatever.
Ronald Two Legs. This is Pod Van Dam, but fucking nobody is
Whoa.
paying it for us. So
All right, I
man.
have a feeling this is going to devolve into
Yeah,
some
all
sort
right.
of
Who we
weird
burying?
fight
Let's throw
in
some
a
names
second.
out. Who we burying?
Josh Bishop
Who we
wants it
burying?
very
Confused.
confused.
Who we burying? That's the best part of shooters. Come on. Who we burying?
How do you feel about the blue stripe in the FBI?
Who we burying?
Moving on.
Steve Payne, you want to call Steve Payne?
You
Should we
see
do a
Payne's
lot-
number?
Yeah, of course.
You see Payne's number?
I have a lot of
Let's
legends
call
numbers.
Steve Payne's number. Let's call Steve Payne
Let's not-
right now.
let's
Did you
not
guys
call
know
Steve
that?
Payne.
Well, Duke says let's
Hold on.
not.
Did you
call
guys
him.
know that Starboy Charlie is actually the former fidget spinner boy? Really? A former prodigy of one Steve Payne.
Wait,
Yeah.
Wildthorn's not here, and Josh, you're
Try to
on.
maintain
You're
some
on the
kind of
mic.
control.
We
Let
can
me-
call Swoggle, but we can
way
do
off
someone
the
else's
Now,
phone on block.
let me throw a behind the scenes thing out here, because obviously fans know that there are a lot of wrestlers that have masks. They have a lot of like
Not me.
hidden things. They have
I'm
obviously
open for
worker
business.
names.
Not me. Real
Joshua
name. Josh
Bishop.
Bishop.
Yeah, how do you feel when somebody comes in here like tonight? We
And I
had
see
also
someone
we
without
had,
their fucking mask.
we had Ultra
Nothing
Mantis
pi-
Black.
Listen,
We had
nothing
Ultra Mantis
pisses
Black
me
here
off
tonight.
more than when I see somebody without their fucking mask in the locker room. Because I don't go in the fucking locker room until someone comes out and tells me they have their hood on. And then when I go back there and I see these fuckers with their mask off, like Psycho Clown wants to take his mask off in front of me. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I want the mystique still. Or I learn someone's real name. Oh, disgusting to me.
Not a fan of the real names. Shoot names.
No, I don't want to know your real name. I want to know you about your wrestler name. My real name is Josh Bishop. And everyone knows that.
That's why he's got the Bishop Brigade.
Yeah.
That's why
Exactly.
Kim Bishop fucking
Exactly.
hates the shout out segment
Mark
because it goes
Bishop,
too long.
what?
Mark Bishop.
Will Bishop, what?
What? Now what's
Abby
funny
Bishop,
is
what?
Duke, you've been around for a long
Duke's
time.
real name is
The
Duke.
Duke. He's the Duke.
Yeah, well,
Keep it-
it's not my legal name, but I've been called it since before I was born. So yes, my name is Duke.
That counts, right?
How do you feel
I
about
think that's a lie.
Duke? How do you feel about shoot names and masks and all these things?
I like the magic of
mean-
wrestling
Wait,
to still
it's
be
not
kept
your-
alive.
Josh,
I am fucking.
He's just answering anyway.
what's the
I
Duke?
can answer anything.
What's the
care.
Duke answer here?
The mask thing is a little disconcerting because, and I go back to the perfect example, and I don't know, I don't think this is a bad thing to say, but when we brought in Pentagon,
Oh yeah, Pentagon. Yeah.
he did not have
Yeah, well, where does brother go?
his hood on.
Oh, no.
He looked Pentagon.
Yeah.
Pentagon without his makeup and mask looks like he just left Menudo. And
Wait, you've been around for a long time, but
yes, I have. You keep saying that.
Not,
Alberta
I know,
John.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
old.
Tag
touching
in. He's
on
old,
that
everyone.
point a lot
Tag
here,
in.
dude.
But not
Tag in, I gotta do the fucking
to
that.
stereotype, but
change the tire. fake-
Gotta change the tire, fix this
the luchadors, typically very handsome, are they not?
Some of them.
I mean, some of them, yeah, but
Josh had to tag out, so now I'm
But I
in.
mean, you look at Pentagon with all the scary makeup and the hood and everything else. You're just like, wow, that's pretty freaky. And then you see him, and he's like, I can't think of a better example than he looks like he just left Menudo. I mean, it was just weird. It kind of like killed the whole mystique for me.
Do we get a hand count of how many people know Menudo in here right now?
Dude, I know Menudo.
Yeah, there's
Hey.
enough. There's enough.
For everybody listening
put
at
it out
home
there.
or here,
The Spanish-
Menudo
I can't
is
think of
the-
what I can't think of what they look like. I know
Menudo-
the name, but I can't think of what they look like.
Ronald Two Legs.
Yeah.
You want to know the biggest name to
I
come?
guess that was my thing.
The biggest name, also Ronald Two Legs, back in tagging in the podcast. The biggest name out of Menudo, Ricky Martin, dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ricky Martin was a part of Menudo.
Wasn't Mark
shit.
Anthony part of Menudo?
No, he was
Well,
not.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Positive.
Are you?
He was just married to
guy knows all
J-Lo.
this.
I know he's married. Well,
He's
before
just
he was
married
married
to
to
J-Lo,
J-Lo,
just
he
like
Don't you guys do like
Josh's
boy
back.
band costumes
I don't know what's
and
going on.
shit? That's
Oh,
why
goddamn.
Steve is a boy band.
Josh, what is
fucking
happening?
expert.
Wow.
It's
Do I
like boy
not?
band
Do I
costumes.
not?
Are you
look
tagging
like,
back in?
Do I not
I
look
thought
like
you
I'm
were
part of a
changing.
boy band right now?
Because he said Julio.
Why am I talking to the mic while we're talking about this?
Yeah, I love the Julios.
Let's not make fun of
Oh,
the
change
know-
of tire
you know who
fake
else loves
feet.
the
Oh, that's
Julios?
a change of a tire fake feet.
Ronda Rousey loves the
Oh, you
Julios.
just had a pee.
What's
There you
going
go.
on? Hey, what's going on the sidebar here? Easy doesn't, Alberti.
It was Josh, not me.
Josh Bishop.
Whoa, I don't
Welcome
like that
back.
I'm blamed for a lot of things.
You got blamed for a lot of things.
I can't believe Thorne lets this go on this long.
He doesn't, but he left to go to the bathroom, and it's very far away.
Come on the podcast.
Pedro,
The best fucking podcast. Pedro.
Listen, in honor of,
Speaking of the Magic, I don't know Pedro's real name. And I don't want to know it.
No,
Me
no,
neither.
I'm not going to tell it to you.
And I've known him for
A lot of
fucking 6
people
years.
that are here won't necessarily be there next week, but
Derek.
What's next week?
next week we are going to be a part of,
What are we
again,
doing?
a lot of the AIW crew is tagging into the Gathering of the Juggalos.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I will not be there.
JCW.
Smartest thing I've ever
So,
done.
Pedro, wait. Pedro, where are you going? Get back here. For Pedro,
Pedro.
one time, can we get a whoop whoop for Pedro?
One time, can we get Pedro as the ring announcer again?
Pedro, what is, since you've been quote unquote retired,
What is a juggalo?
what is
Please come back.
what has
Please
been
come back.
the most
Please come
challenging match that you've had to put together from a physical standpoint?
Pants over here for sure.
Absolution
me.
15 in total
That's
was
what a
the
man
most
smells
exhausted
like.
I have ever been after a show ever. I sat in my truck. I live less than 5 minutes from the Tadmor. I legitimately sat in my truck for 10 minutes just because I didn't have the energy to start the engine of my truck, and it's a push button start.
Yeah, you made me.
What? Why?
Hold on, wait. Pedro,
Wait.
hold on.
Yep, Duke's got a question.
Pedro made me carry my own throne back to his truck after absolution. How defeating is that?
Beggars can't be choosers, Duke.
But I mean, the awesomeness of the entrance, and then it's just like, yeah, carry that back.
All right.
He
Can
does
we
a
just acknowledge
lot for us.
Can we just- can we just
Derek
acknowledge-
Dillinger.
Yeah, I'm tagged in. Can we
Number
just
2,
acknowledge
Derek Dillinger. Second place.
Again, second
I'm
place.
seeing two people in between right now.
That intense championship's now vacant. Ooh.
Okay, get,
Can we just acknowledge
I might enter the
Pedro real
jail.
fast for making a door that is indestructible, that 3D?
oh, the shark door?
No,
The Shark AIW 3D door.
AW3D door.
That AIW 3D door, I saw it under
I
the
might be
ring today.
paralyzed.
Still not broken.
Nobody pulled it out today?
I saw it under there and I go, nope, not grabbing that.
Well,
I'm going to cash in on the Lloyds of London's with that one. I think
probably-
fucking Rick Ruder.
probably some people pulled it out today, but not the door. Anyway.
Swagger
Steve,
Luke
come
almost
on.
pulled it out today.
You know,
Boy, me.
Mikey Montgomery almost pulled it out today accidentally. Anyway, so moving on. Well, Pedro's over there now. I can't ask him any more
He
questions.
takes a few weeks off. He turns.
Who we
let me tell you
burying,
something.
Pedro?
Duke, you.
Pedro, who we burying?
Duke hates.
Whose number do you
Who
got?
we
We can
burying?
call?
Duke obviously doesn't get enough attention.
That's true.
That's
very
true. No, I mean, you'll be here.
Come back, Pedro.
No, wait, hold on.
Wait, Pedro, you're part of this. Pedro and I had a discussion
gets
today.
enough.
We were talking about like an absolution access or all these things. And one of the things Pedro, believe it or not, Duke wanted to do was if it was here or somewhere else in the future, and we built like an access, so to speak, thing, was he wanted to bring the Duke throne
Yeah.
for people to take their picture upon.
Yeah.
Actually, that would have been a great.
Would have
idea.
been cool.
What?
But then I would have had to carry it back somewhere, and I don't want to do that.
But Pedro, how you were the mastermind behind it? How long did it take to build it? How did you even come up with this friggin' idea? Because it's the Duke. Why would you even come up with that idea? You know what I mean?
Steve got it.
Well, actually, the idea for the throne was thought back years ago. I can't remember who it was we were going to build a throne for, so the idea was already in my head. It just needed to be built.
Well, no, but
For me.
what people don't know at the shrine, maybe you know this or not, I don't know, people that aren't in the back, they actually have a throne in the back.
What?
That is
Yeah, they do. Legit do.
It's like, you've
Oh,
seen
that
it,
one?
right?
Yes,
yeah, that
I've
one,
seen it.
sure.
It's like 6 foot tall. It's got a huge back on it, and it's felt padding or whatever. It is a throne.
It's legitimately hundreds of years old because
Yeah.
the secretary at the Tadmor told me it's hundreds
And
of
I
years
told
old.
Thorne, I go, what I'd really like to do is get like a big piece of plywood and put that throne on it and walk out. And I'm like, but I know we can't do it. And so then in the group chat, Thorne's like, hold on a second. And
it was
I
literally
think it was
a
like
second.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
And he screenshots Pedro's like, yeah, we could do that. We got to do this, that, and the other thing. And then like 2 hours later, picture of you and your wife at Home Depot
Yes.
With the chair.
with wood. And then
Yeah, Pedro's
that
wife.
night, it was done.
Pedro and his wife, there would be wood involved.
Well, yeah,
He's a handsome man.
Pedro is a man of many hats, and then when he starts a project, it's done within 3 hours.
And then he put Infinity Stones.
There was an Easter egg on there. There was Infinity Stones on the throne. Yes.
I have a question. Do you think they're just gonna turn the lights on and like that'll be the cue, or just gonna let us go and as long
No,
as
they don't
we
care.
want here? Like what's happening?
I'm also surprised that John Thorne has not came back yet.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I don't think Thorne's here anymore.
He left.
I actually think
he's
left.
gone.
He said something about the best burger in the world
letting
or
us
something.
go. Like
Yeah,
just do whatever you want.
I don't
kinda.
think
He
he's
went,
even
he went
here.
for the world's best burger.
yeah, he's beating the rush for sure.
Pedro, when you did the Easter egg of the Infinity
Are we still doing
Stones,
this? Okay. I'm gonna have a seat here.
is that you don't want the lounge chair? All right. Did
Are you kidding me? My fat butt
when
will
you
destroy
did
this.
that? Is it because you felt like the Duke is the Thanos of AIW?
Honest, well, can I tell the story?
Yeah, you got
do
to
it. Tell it.
No, I actually did it for Duke because I know Duke goes to the San Diego Comic-Con usually every year, and I thought Duke would get a big kick out of seeing the Infinity Stones on his throne. It was just an Easter egg for Duke, and
It was badass.
You loved it.
Yeah.
You're a big fan.
I'm a big fan.
It warmed your heart because you missed the San Diego Comic-Con this year?
I did miss it this year, and I was a little disappointed, but it was logistics with the guy that usually gets his tickets has young children, and they don't have vaccines yet, and he's super duper afraid of COVID, and he didn't want to get.
Was that the first year that you missed San Diego Comic-Con?
No, I missed it in 15 or 16. I can't remember which one.
For AIW?
But I've been, yeah.
Of course.
It was 10, I think it was. I think it might have been Absolution 10.
Episode 10
Yeah.
at the place that had no air conditioning whatsoever, and
That would
everybody
be
sweat their balls off.
15, I think.
There is a fan question for you, Duke. There is a fan question for you.
Yeah.
I heard.
Oh,
Somebody asked.
Daryl
No, I
Dillinger,
do
a man
not.
of the fans.
I do not. I like going to the panels. That's my thing. I go listen to everybody talk about the shows. And the
Question
movies
from the
and
audience?
What's yeah?
Duke occasionally cosplays Hulk Hogan, though.
Question
I have
from the
done it on
audience?
occasion. Yes.
Duke, do you think you are responsible for the COVID-19 pandemic because of the Duke driver that you gave me at UXWA?
Also,
I think that it started a global pandemic.
I
And
thought
shut down a wrestling company.
I thought
You
it.
shut down an entire
I
world.
thought it was because then when I hit you with it at the Cybernetico, that was supposed to reverse everything.
Yeah,
but it
you
didn't
did.
work.
Actually, we're
It
good.
didn't
We
work,
beat
so
it.
I
We
don't
beat
know.
it. We're all vaxxed up, right?
also the
Vaccines!
the luncheon we had at the Longhorn.
Can we get a yippee for
Luncheon we had the Longhorn.
Vax!
Yeah.
Vax!
Vax?
Yeah. If you ain't vaxxed, you're whack.
I'm moderator Swords just killing time right now. So Derek Dillinger is sitting here, and Joshua
like? I have a question for
Bishop.
Derek.
Oh,
I have a
what?
Question for Derek from
What's
the Duke.
it like to finish second in everything you do?
Heel on,
Except the.
Yeah.
heel on heel crime,
That's
baby.
very true. That's very true.
Heel on heel crime.
Ascension against tag partners, that would never happen with me and Wes.
Also,
Me and Duke aren't tag
Tag
partners.
partners? I hate this guy.
well, you guys
Yeah.
have teamed up multiple times.
And you lost to us.
I don't know. Multiple.
wait, no,
let me rephrase. You guys have teamed up multiple times. You guys have teamed up
No,
multiple
Duke
times.
failed the wellness policy, so
Yeah.
the athletic commission reversed it.
You teamed up multiple times in AIW. I have no idea what you do outside of these realms. That's on you.
Duke, how many wellness
Not out there,
violations
please.
do you have?
How many wellness violations?
Yeah.
17.
17 wellness violations.
Yeah.
That's 3 less than
Duke's on PEDs.
current champion. Anyway,
He's got the Barry Bonds.
how does this teamwork even happen though between Derek Dillinger and the Duke?
My very first wrestling match ever was against the Duke.
Really?
Sucks.
Did you win or lose?
Beat his ass.
He beat me up.
The Duke beat
Take
your
the Duke
ass.
driver?
I did.
Did you? Yeah. Did I have it back
Probably
then?
started the
I didn't know
recession.
I had it back then.
I did. The Duke says I didn't know I had the Duke driver back then.
Gosh, you want to know what superpower I'm going to steal? I'm gonna
What?
steal
The Duke driver. You should have. You need more superpowers. Real lack of them in
man, I
that
told
fucking
you what
match at Abso.
I told Duke I was going to do it, and he goes, I'm going to hit the ring.
I'm going to hit the ring and shut this whole fucking show down if you do that. That's not happening.
I love
Protected
getting there with the
finish
Duke.
in the company.
Yeah, put me down. Actually, I've been in the hospital for multiple weeks because of it. In and out, physical therapy.
You've been?
Yeah, my entire spinal cord's compressed.
From the Duke driver?
Yeah,
Sorry to
That's
hear
crazy.
at the Cybernetico. What was that, May?
That was in May.
That's why I
it was.
haven't had
It was literally May 5th, Cinco de Cybernetico. That's what we named it after. So what's going on now? Are you guys pals or
I mean, I helped
Duke
him,
and Derek?
I helped him win tonight because I felt he needed it. But
wow, not because you hated Wes Barkley. You just felt like Derek needed it, or a little of both.
You got some heat with Maserati?
You didn't know? Do you not pay attention to your tag team partner in the AIW shows?
I've been a little preoccupied.
A little selfish, bro.
I'm a little preoccupied.
Where's Maserati?
What is your heat?
He's sleepy. You know he's sleepy. It's a dark episode. He's got to go.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, hey, no, it's on me.
Sleepy time number 2.
That's on me. Sorry,
so, Duke, what's your heat with Maserati Wes Barkley?
he's just a
Hey, next time on the live one.
Hey.
Whoa! Only I can fucking bury him because he's my brother, my real life
Duke's
brother.
gonna beat him so bad he's gonna become his stepdad.
First of all, if you fucking look at me one more time, I'm gonna drop you on that stack of dimes you call a neck, brother. One more time. all right?
Shit!
He's looking at you, Derek.
He's talking to you.
Talking to you.
Wait,
Dude,
can you
I'll
rephrase
knock
that?
the fucking little bit of hair you got left on that head off.
Wow.
If you fucking look at me one more time with a couple fucking dish.
That was very intense from the intense icon.
Yeah.
But
Couple
can you
fucking dude.
Josh,
Can
you're
you-
gonna bust yourself open again. Really?
Yeah, I might right now.
Can you
live.
just, Josh? Can you just do it again because you said stack of dimes, but this is
That
the
stack of dimes you call a neck, boy.
This is the birthday of Chandler Biggins.
What?
And there was a very famous podcast that we did of The Carter's Going to Change, in which we're recording right now, where we talk about Chandler Biggins carrying a sock of quarters.
What?
To knock out Tom Dunn. So if you want to replace dimes with quarters to knock out Derek Dillinger, I would love that.
Talking to me.
Yeah.
He's talking to you.
No, he
First
called
of
you
all,
a stack
Steve,
of dimes, bro.
I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
You want to listen to the podcast?
No.
You don't. Let me give you some history here.
No.
Here's what happened. At one point in time, there was some wrestling rivalry happening in Cleveland.
Let's wrap it up.
Shout out to the AIW students.
Thorne and Biggins were going to a show. Thorne and Biggins were going to a show. Listen.
What?
Thorne and Biggins were going to a show.
What?
Tom Dunn was there. Tom
What?
Dunn and Chandler Biggins had heat.
What?
Chandler Biggins
What?
had a sock full of quarters.
What?
Because he thought that Tom Dunn was going to try to fight him.
What?
And it was Chandler Biggins' plan
What?
to just knock Tom Dunn the fuck out with a sock of quarters.
What?
So,
Really adding to that story.
I guess the question is, yeah,
I don't think anyone gives a fuck about that story.
Josh, everybody cares about Chandler Biggins on his birthday,
yeah,
bro.
everyone does.
You remember the
Yeah.
story. Josh Bishop, if given the chance, I guess here's the question. If
Wanna
given the
drop him on that
chance,
stack of dimes
would
I call it
you
next?
knock Derek Dillinger out with a sock full of quarters?
No.
Come on, man.
I knocked
Josh Bishop,
him out
given
with a
the
barbed wire
chance, would you
2x4. Change clothes.
He's
Dude,
gonna stay in that for the rest of the
I'm
night.
gonna hit the club like this
You got
tonight.
shorts on?
No.
No, he's not wearing pants.
Trunks.
He's still wearing his trunks. Derek Dillinger laughing because he thinks that the fanny pack is covering up.
My cock.
Non-existent is what
Hey,
Derek Dillinger said.
We're getting the wrap
Why
it
are
up
you
sign.
putting words in my mouth?
We're getting, hey,
From who?
I'm sorry.
Who's saying wrap it up?
We're getting the wrap it up
Oh,
sign.
Pedro said, all right, then we're good.
We're getting the wrap it up sign, which is something that Josh Bishop not familiar with, it turns out.
Yeah, because do you hear the fucking reaction when I'm in the ring, Steve?
Yeah, well, Joshua
You never hear
Bishop.
a couple grown-ass man chant?
Joshua Bishop. True or false? True or false, Joshua Bishop? True or false, Joshua Bishop? You didn't understand that menopause happens way after the age of 35 for women.
Okay.
Now we're getting into some deep cuts.
We gotta wrap it up. We gotta cut it, and we gotta go because the great folks here at Great Lakes Wrestling Fest
They've had enough.
Fest, have had
Dominic
enough for us.
Guarini
They're
chiming
ready to
in.
go.
They've
Dominic
had
Guarini
enough.
chiming in.
I love everybody here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, as my dad once told me.
It's a perfect way to do it. Everybody for Dominic Guarini, Joshua Bishop, The Duke, Derek Dillinger, Bill Alfonso, John Thorne, Ronnie Two Legs.
Ultramantis Black.
He was not on the podcast.
Leonard F. Chikar.
My name is Steve Guy. Yes, Joe Sposo chimed in. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you whenever you listen to us on AIW's The Carter's Going to Change.
Keep it sleazy.
Thanks.
Keep it sleazy. Thanks.